On Sunday, May 16th, another Union Pacific Challenger has appeared in the Denver Intermodal Yard. The smiles on the faces of the crew members indicate they're having a lot of fun this morning as confused rail fans look on. No Challenger engine was ever assigned the number 3718. If Challenger 3985 had been converted to oil during its career, it more than likely would have been renumbered 3718. For at least one day, befuddled rail fans will be scratching their heads as the engine races by. Even with the early hour on Sunday morning, a small group of curious spectators is on hand to witness the train's departure from Denver. Today, the train will be ferried back to Cheyenne, the base of operations for the Union Pacific steam program. Departing Denver, the 3718 meets an inbound freight waiting to enter the yard. Leaving Greeley, Colorado, the 3718 picks up speed as it heads north. Just over the Wyoming border, the fireman sands the flues of the 3718 as the engine works upgrade south of Spear. Arriving at the Cheyenne yard, the 3718 uncouples from its train and heads down the approach track to the shop building. Engineer Steve Lee reflects on the 40th anniversary steam excursion and the continuing relationship with the Rocky Mountain Railroad Club.
It was kind of a joint idea. The steam crew and some of the UP Historical Society members became aware a couple of years ago that the 40th anniversary of this, what we call the first steam excursion, was upon us, was coming up. We kicked the idea around a little bit, looked at the calendar, we noticed we couldn't run the trip on the same day, but with the Rocky Club still in Denver, we contacted them to see if they'd be interested in sponsoring it if we wanted to run it. And we worked it out with them so that we could recreate the trip as close as we possibly could and re-letter and renumber the locomotive and kind of take a step back in time. I was well satisfied with everything as far as the Rocky Club. They did their usual good job with the ticket sales, the promotion, with the crewing of the train, the handling of the photo lines, and the crowd control and all that. They've been running trips for more than 40 years, and they've got the drill pretty well down. They did a very nice job. We were disappointed in the weather, of course, all the rain and the doom and gloom, but there's not much anybody can do about that. And we had some operational difficulties as far as some delays, not due to the locomotive or the train or anything like that, but pretty well I was pleased, yes.
We asked Steve where he got all those Challenger engines.
We got a little shop over there in the roundhouse. We make them during the winter when we don't have anything else to do. Yeah, this is probably the first time a Challenger has been south of LaSalle and on into Denver, probably since about 56 or 57. They stopped running them down there in the late 50s when they stopped running steam altogether. We've had the 3985 down to LaSalle twice since it's been restored. We took it down there in 81 on its initial break-in trip, and we took it down there about 2 years ago on another break-in trip, but we've never had it south of LaSalle. So yeah, it's been quite some time since any kind of a Challenger has been down there.
Do you think anyone could have predicted the running of this trip 20 years ago?
I think 20 years ago, no one would have seriously predicted that a Challenger would even be restored. Much less do this. No, I don't think, even a year ago, I don't think it would have been predicted. It's a pleasant feeling. You're kind of recreating history. The best moment for me was over in Laramie when they got the folks that had ridden the trip 40 years ago and lined them up in front of the engine, and here it is 40 years later, the same locomotive number and the same fellas, and that really brought it home how long it had been, and that was pleasant.
As the locomotive enters its stall in the Cheyenne shop, Pentrex concludes its coverage of this historic 3-day railroading event. This was an unusual happening that will probably never be duplicated. Once in the shop, the smoke wings and the temporary number plates will be removed, and the 3985 will once again have its own identity. Steve Lee and his crew, the Union Pacific Railroad, and the members of the Rocky Mountain Railroad Club are to be commended for their diligent efforts toward the success of the 40th anniversary steam excursion.